It's been a while since we heard good news about Cartoon Network. The network that was once an animation powerhouse has now been shut down. Warner Bros. Discovery's recent actions suggest that the end of Cartoon Network may be closer than we'd like to believe. Why has the website been shut down? Is this the final chapter of Cartoon Network's legacy? Or is there hope? Warner Bros. Discovery made a bold and shocking move for many fans by shutting down Cartoon Network's website. For over 2 decades, the Cartoon Network site was more of a go-to destination filled with nostalgia, where fans could watch episodes of their favorite shows and explore a vast library of free games featuring classic characters. Today, though, visitors to CartoonNetwork.com are greeted by a simple redirect page encouraging them to subscribe to Warner Bros.' flagship streaming service called Max. With just one click, the iconic Cartoon Network site is gone. Its content is locked behind a paywall, leaving fans without the ad-free, accessible experience they once had. The website wasn't just a place to access content, it was a safe, dedicated space for kids, away from the larger, more adult-focused platforms. In an online landscape where safe zones for kids are rapidly disappearing, the website stood as one of the last. It offered a nostalgic escape for them and a way for younger generations to discover the network's iconic shows. Now, that's over. For fans, this isn't only a technical shift, but also a loss of a cultural space where entire generations grew up. It's hard not to see this as a symbolic step, one that speaks to the decline of a once-beloved brand. So why did Warner Bros. Shut down the website? One of the main reasons for Cartoon Network's decline is its shift away from bold, new programming. In the past decades, Cartoon Network aired creative shows like Dexter's Lab, Adventure Time, and the Powerpuff Girls. However, in recent years, it's shown a heavy reliance on reboots and revivals. Instead of taking risks on new original content, the network leaned on their past successes by resurrecting shows like Teen Titans Go and Ben 10. While reboots aren't necessarily bad, they don't have the same cultural impact as fresh ideas. In a time when creativity and innovation define success in streaming, this move feels outdated, leaving Cartoon Network struggling to keep up with the times. In addition to the content issue, severe financial struggles that Warner Bros. Discovery is facing also led to the closure of Cartoon Network. The company recently announced a massive $9.1 billion impairment charge, with much of it tied to the decline in cable and broadcast TV assets, including Cartoon Network. Cost-cutting has become the company's primary focus, often at the expense of creative decisions that made Cartoon Network so iconic. As one ex-user put it, they're trying to save pennies while losing the heart of Cartoon Network. Competition from Disney and Nickelodeon has also affected Cartoon Network greatly. Back in the day, Cartoon Network dominated as a unique hub for animated series, but Disney and Nickelodeon have since ramped up their game. By the 2010s, both rivals had carved out strong niches in children's programming, with Disney rolling out hits like Phineas and Ferb and Gravity Falls, and Nickelodeon doubling down on franchises like SpongeBob SquarePants. As Cartoon Network shifted towards reboots, Disney and Nickelodeon took risks on original story-driven content, drawing young audiences away. Cartoon Network, once the frontrunner, found itself competing on uneven ground, gradually losing its edge. Cartoon Network's decline also involves corporate mergers that brought different visions. The AOL-Time Warner merger in the early 2000s marked a shift, but the Warner Bros. Discovery merger was even more significant. With this recent change, the focus was no longer on promoting Cartoon Network's creative brand, it was on maximizing profitability. This shift meant prioritizing cost efficiency over originality, leading to a heavier reliance on established franchises and fewer investments in new, unique shows. Cartoon Network became less about original ideas and more about what could turn a quick profit. Another major factor is the loss of creative vision as influential figures left the network. Many who were instrumental in defining Cartoon Network's identity moved on, taking with them the daring, experimental spirit that fueled its golden years. With their departure, the network struggled to capture the same magic, resulting in a lineup that felt increasingly corporate and less genuine. Longtime fans felt the shift, with one commenting, "It's like they drained the soul out of Cartoon Network." The network that once broke barriers in animation was now trying to fit into the corporate mold, and it showed. Changing viewing habits have been another major factor in Cartoon Network's struggle. Streaming platforms have redefined how audiences consume content, with many opting for on-demand services over traditional TV. While competitors adapt quickly, Cartoon Network was slow to adjust, leaving it trailing in a world where viewers increasingly bypass cable for platforms like Netflix and YouTube. Kids and teens today are less likely to watch scheduled programming on cable, which has been a significant blow to Cartoon Network's once loyal audience base. In this new media landscape, Cartoon Network's failure to pivot quickly enough has made it difficult for the network to regain its footing. The decline in cable viewership due to cord cutting worsened the situation. In the early 2000s, Cartoon Network was in nearly every American household. Today, it reaches less than half of the US market, and its average daily viewership is just a fraction of what it once was. With fewer people watching traditional TV, Cartoon Network's reliance on cable distribution has left it struggling to connect with younger audiences. The network, once omnipresent, now seems like a faint echo of its former self, barely hanging on in a landscape it once dominated. Animation has its unique struggles on streaming too. While streaming allows more flexible viewing, the high production costs and long lead times for animated shows make them a tough sell for streaming services, which prefer fast-paced, high-output content. Cartoon Network's animated shows, beloved but resource-intensive, clash with the rapid content turnover that streaming demands. This disconnect has left the network struggling to meet industry demands, adding to its uphill battle. As a result, many of Cartoon Network's shows are simply phased out, reducing its content library and reach even further. To avoid paying residuals, Warner Bros. Discovery has removed numerous Cartoon Network shows from Max. This tactic of erasing content helps cut costs but sacrifices accessibility, leaving fans with fewer legal options to watch their favorite series. Many creators have spoken out against this move, with some even encouraging fans to pirate their own work. By pulling beloved shows from its streaming platform, Warner Bros. Discovery isn't just saving money, it's closing off access to a major part of Cartoon Network's legacy. Fans reacted with dismay to Warner Bros. Discovery's handling of Cartoon Network. Across social media, hashtags like RIP Cartoon Network started trending, with fans mourning what they saw as the death of an institution. Fans flooded Twitter and Reddit with comments, expressing their anger and disappointment in what they saw as a betrayal of their childhood memories. One user lamented, "I grew up with Cartoon Network, and now they're taking away everything that made it special." This reaction captured a widespread sense of loss as fans came to terms with the decline of a network that defined generations. Groups like Animation Workers Ignited also commented, advocating for the preservation of animation and fair treatment of creators. In a video that went viral, members voiced their frustration with industry practices, urging fans to stay vocal about the importance of preserving animation's history and integrity. This advocacy only added to the feeling that Cartoon Network's decline wasn't just a corporate loss, but a loss for the animation community as a whole. For many, Warner Bros.' actions felt like a betrayal of both the fans and the creators who made Cartoon Network what it was. But it wasn't always this way. Cartoon Network once reigned supreme in the animation world, offering a lineup of shows that defined childhood for millions. Launched in 1992, the network quickly became known for its original programming. Shows like Dexter's Lab, The Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, and Ed, Edd n Eddy created an identity that was distinct, playful, and sometimes daring. These shows weren't just cartoons. They were cultural moments, shaping humor, creativity, and even friendships for a generation. The golden era continued into the 2000s and 2010s with series like Adventure Time and Regular Show, which took risks and pushed boundaries in ways that resonated across all ages. Cartoon Network's programming was never just for kids, it had multiple generational appeal, drawing in older viewers who appreciated the clever writing and unique animation styles. It was this creativity and boldness that made Cartoon Network a household name, earning it a legacy as one of the most innovative channels in television history. What's next for Cartoon Network? Will Warner Bros. Discovery take steps to revive the network, or is it the end of it? For now, all signs point to a future where the Cartoon Network we knew is no more. But its legacy lives on in the memories of fans who grew up with its shows. The Cartoon Network we knew may be gone, but will it be truly forgotten? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more cartoon content.